Hello students, today we will start chapter 7 alternating current. Now introduction of the chapter. Now in chapter 3 we have studied about the DC source. The DC source were the cells and battery and they produce the DC current, that is a direct current. Now what is direct current? It was a current in which the magnitude and the direction of the current does not vary with respect to time. That is, their magnitude and direction is fixed. They flow in only one direction. Now, opposite to this DC current, in this chapter, we are going to deal with alternating current. This alternating current is widely used in our daily life, whether it is our home, office or anywhere. The alternating current is used in our daily life, and most of the electrical devices or electronic devices, they operate on alternating voltage or alternating current. And there are also advantage of this AC current or AC voltage. So in chapter 3 we dealt with DC, that is direct current. The source of DC was, or the source of DC is cells, battery, etc. And the characteristic of DC is that DC does not vary with time. That is, its magnitude and direction is fixed or is constant or does not change with time. In alternating current or AC voltage, so alternating current or AC voltage, now say the full form of AC is alternating current, but because they vary with respect to time, we write AC voltage and AC current. So that AC full form is alternating current, but it cannot be read as alternating current voltage. We use the word AC to indicate that it varies with respect to time. Now alternating current or AC voltage changes its magnitude as well direction with time. And in chapter 6 we have studied AC generator, where we obtained AC voltage or induced EMF or AC current. Now AC current or AC voltage are the function of sine or cosine. So in this 12th we will deal AC current which are the function of sine or cosine. There are many other ways in which AC current or AC voltage can also be produced. So in the last chapter we obtained the AC voltage with the help of device called AC generator, and we found that the induced voltage or AC voltage was a function of sine or cosine, and sine and cosine changes with respect to time. Advantages of AC over DC. So what are the advantages? The first advantage is AC current or AC voltage can be efficiently transmitted over a long distance. So we know that AC power or AC supply comes to our home from the AC power stations. So it can be easily transmitted from one place to another with the help of a cable. Second, AC voltage can be transmitted, can be efficiently transmitted over a long distance, can be easily converted or transformed. AC voltage can be easily converted or transformed into another voltage with the help of transformer. So in the end of the chapter, we will again see one device, a transformer. Say some devices use a very high voltage, some devices use very low voltage. So the voltage has to be increased or decreased. The magnitude of the voltage has to be increased or decreased. Thus AC supply at our home is 220 volt. Now this AC voltage of 220 volt cannot be used to run a train. For an example, we require a high voltage. On the other hand, this 220 voltage cannot be directly used to charge a mobile battery. So this voltage has to be increased or decreased. So that will be done with the help of a transformer, and then we will have a setup transformer and step down transformer where the voltage will be increased or decreased. So AC voltage can be easily converted or transformed into another voltage with the help of transformer, and the main advantage is it can be efficiently transmitted over a long distance, and the third point is it is cost efficient as compared to DC, or you can say it is cheaper than DC. It is cheaper than DC supply. So these are the advantage of AC generator. Then there are AC circuits. There are many AC circuits which AC circuits have many application, which is unique, like twinning of radio. So this AC circuit, which is also we have a twinning circuit. So AC circuit exhibit a property, a special property which the DC circuit does not possess. So one of this AC circuit is a twinning of radio. We can easily listen the different stations of radio, or the AC circuit, which is the twinning circuit, can be used or utilized to pick up the signals of many signals available in the atmosphere or in the surrounding. So you can listen to the radio of specific station, say 93.5 or 91.1 megahertz, etc. So that AC circuit exhibit a proper a specific property. They are unique in their application, which make them separate, or which is their advantage over the DC. So this is an advantage of AC. Then AC circuits are widely used in our daily life. So we will see how this AC circuit differ and what are the advantage of this AC circuit in the coming topics. Now our first topic is AC voltage applied to a resistor. We have seen that when a resistor is connected to a DC source, then we have a Ohm's law where V was equal to IR. There V and I was fixed and they were positive. Now we know that in AC generator the polarity of the polarity changes continuously with respect to time after a fixed rotation of 180 degree. The polarity of the terminal changes because the coil was rotating, and after 180 degree, the side becomes opposite. But DC current, we have a fixed value. So the potential drop across R was fixed and the current flowing in the circuit was also fixed or having a fixed magnitude, and it was positive. Now in AC voltages, the voltage can be positive or negative because the polarity will change. Similarly, the current will also change. So how the AC, what happens when AC voltage is applied to a resistor, whether it will obey a Ohm's law or not, that we will see. So let us consider a resistor of resistance R connected with an AC source. So we use this symbol for an AC source. So like we have a positive and negative terminal for a DC source. So this was a symbol for a cell, and a series of cell was called as battery. Similarly, AC source is denoted by this circle, and here we draw a sine curve because we have seen that in AC generator the current was induced which changes its polarity, and AC voltage was the function of sine. The formula of the induced EMF was Em sine omega t because the flux was the function of cosine. So where we ended the chapter 6, we start with chapter 7 from an AC source, which is an AC generator. So let us assume that this is an AC generator. We were having two terminal or output which were connected to a carbon brushes. So these are the two outputs. Now this is represented by V is equal to Vm sine omega t. So assuming there is some loss in AC generator because we have a coil of n turns, so there will be some loss of the voltage. So in the place of induced EMF was the maximum potential difference, assuming there was no loss, and we know EMF is the maximum potential difference. Here V is a terminal potential difference. So the output now here is represented by V is equal to Vm sine omega t. Now sine function itself is varying with respect to time, and you know the range of the sine is between -1 and +1. So that will oscillate. So it is, we can sometimes say the circuit is oscillating between the maximum and the minimum value because it is a function of sine. Now we know the polarity will change. So the current direction is not fixed. So in this chapter we represent a current by small I. Sometime we write I of t, that is the current at any instant. This is the current at any instant because after some instant or after the half cycle the polarity of the current will change. So if the current flowing here is taken in clockwise, after 180 degree rotation of the coil inside the generator, the current will be in the opposite direction. So the current is not fixed. So the theory portion of this chapter is very easy. The diagram should be well labeled, and from the diagram we can easily write a theory where we consider a resistor of resistance capital R connected with AC source, and this will be always our first equation in all the question because we have three different part of the same topic: AC voltage applied to resistor, AC voltage applied to a capacitor, AC voltage applied to a inductor. So individually first we will see R separately, C separately and L separately, and then we will join them in a series and it will form an LCR circuit. And where we have discussed in the introduction that there are AC circuits which exhibit a specific or unique phenomenon which will be called as a resonance, and it is a twinning circuit. It will help us to catch or pick up the signals available in the atmosphere, and so that you can tune to a specific station. So here the resistor R is connected with an AC source. V is equal to Vm sin omega t, and this is the diagram. Now the current is not fixed because V is variable here. The V is a variable. So I of t is called as a instantaneous current. So in the figure, I of t is the current at any instant. So let I of t or I be the current in the circuit at any instant. So instead you can write I of t also, or simply a small I represent a variable current. So I be the current in the circuit at any instant. Now applying Kirchhoff's second law or the loop rule. So we apply a Kirchhoff law. Suppose we are taking the current in this direction. So at any instant this is plus sign and this is minus sign. At any instant. Now we know the polarity will change. So we are not labeling plus and minus sign. But at any instant, if I want to apply the Kirchhoff law, and if this is positive, now apply the Kirchhoff law from A to B to C to DA. You are moving in the direction of current. So it becomes minus IR. Then we come across a negative terminal, so it becomes minus V. So minus minus is cancelled, so that we can directly write, because the entire potential difference will be across the voltage only, the entire AC voltage will be across the resistor only. So if we apply the Kirchhoff law, we will get this equation, minus minus is cancelled. Therefore I of R can be written as Vm sin omega t, that is using equation number 1. So now we have to find out the current flowing in the circuit. Therefore I is equal to Vm upon R sin of omega t. Now R is a constant of proportionality that we know. Vm is a maximum value that is fixed. So this term is known as the maximum current in the circuit, Im. So here also we can write here Vm is equal to the amplitude, or you can write the maximum value of voltage V. But because the circuit is oscillatory or it is a function of sine, we write amplitude, and you know amplitude is the maximum displacement on either side of the mean position. Here Vm is the amplitude of voltage oscillating between maximum and minimum value. So it is the amplitude of the voltage which is oscillating between the maximum and the minimum value, or sometimes we call it a oscillating potential difference also. So instead of this, the entire line, you can write it is the amplitude of oscillating potential difference. Similarly, now I is equal to Im sin omega t. This becomes equation 2. Here Im is equal to Vm upon R. Now say this equation 3 is similar to the Ohm's law. So here Im is equal to Vm upon R is similar to Ohm's law. Also, Im is called amplitude of oscillating current I. Small I is a oscillating current, and Im is its magnitude, which is maximum. So we call it a amplitude of oscillating current, or simply the amplitude of a current. So this is how the AC circuit behavior. We don't put a plus minus sign because its polarity keeps on changing. Again, this direction is at instant t. This direction will also change after the fixed interval of time that we know, that is after every half cycle the polarity will change. Now see the situation here. I is the amplitude, Im is the amplitude of the current, that is a maximum current. So we can call it a maximum current is equal to maximum voltage upon R. But this small v is an instantaneous voltage because it is a function of time. I is also an instantaneous current. Now if in this chapter our job is to compare V and I, and we see that from equation 1 and 2 that both are the function of sine. Both are the function of sine, and as the time will increase, the sine function will also increase. So what is our conclusion? That when AC voltage is applied to a resistor, with the passage of time, if the voltage rises, then the current will also rise with it. That is the behavior of a Ohm's law. But here the Ohm's law equation is in the terms of amplitude, that is the maximum current is equal to maximum voltage upon the resistance. Now we have to draw the graph of the instantaneous voltage and the instantaneous current. And after comparing this equation 1 and 2, we can say that the AC current, AC voltage and AC current are in the same phase, or the phase difference is zero. What does it mean? That as the voltage rises, the current will also rise. As the voltage becomes maximum, the current will also become maximum. As the voltage decreases, the current will also decrease in the circuit. Now why we are doing this? Because the capacitor and inductor will not behave like this. There will be a phase difference. Either the current will be leading or lagging. Means if V is a function of sine, it may be possible that I is the function of cosine. So at that time there will be, and you know sine and cosine are complementary functions, so there will be a phase difference of 90 degree. That is, we can say the current is lagging or leading. So now let us draw the graph of this instantaneous voltage and instantaneous current. So in this circuit, the instantaneous voltage is Vm sine omega t, that is our equation number 1. Instantaneous current is equal to Im sine of omega t, that is equation number 2, where Im is the Ohm's law, that is Vm upon R, that is equation number 3. Now we plot the variation of V and I. So the graph of Vi versus time is shown in figure below. So now you have to, in this chapter, the symbols play an important role. So small v is for instantaneous voltage, I is for instantaneous current, small I. Vm is the amplitude, that is the maximum value of this oscillating voltage. Im is the amplitude or the maximum value of this oscillatory current. This is your Ohm's law. Now the graph is shown. So this is V and I are drawn on the same axis. So this is, it can be drawn in the terms of time or in the terms of omega t. So if you remember, this omega t was theta in AC generator. So I can talk in the terms of angle also, or I can talk in the terms of a time also. If you remember the AC generator output graph, it was a sine graph. There we have discussed this thing. So now from this equation also it is clear that V is a function of sine. So we draw a sine curve. So this is a sine curve. This is the maximum value. So it will be referred as Vm. This is your V. Now this is your, in the terms of angle, it is pi, and this is 2 pi, that is 1 cycle is completed. So this is your graph for instantaneous voltage. Instantaneous current. So current, because Vm is divided by R, current should be, current is also a function of sine, but its value will be less than the value of the V, because Vm is divided by R, but it is a function of sine. So we start with the 0. It is shown by a dotted line. Again, you can see the graph. As the cos increases, as the voltage increases, the sine also, the current also increases. So this is the graph, and this is the maximum value of the current. So dotted line is current. Both are the function of sine. So these graphs are basically drawn from the two equations, whether they are sine or cosine. So it is clear from equation 1 and equation 2 that AC voltage and AC current are the function of sine in a circuit containing resistance or containing resistor. So this is clear. One thing, we are concluding the question. Then both are sine function. That is, so the meaning of this is AC voltage and AC current are the function of sine, that we got. So in such circuit, or we are talking about this circuit which consists of resistance. In such circuit, as voltage increases, the current also increases. The current also increases. In other words, we can say the phase difference between V and I is 0. You have to remember this thing. So in AC circuit containing only resistor, the phase difference is 0, or V and I, V means AC voltage and I means AC current, are in same phase. V and I are in same phase. Here same phase means all this. The meaning of this point or this point can be written in one line, that is V and I are in same phase. It means as one increase, the other will also increase. As one becomes maximum, the other will also become maximum. If one becomes minimum, the other will also become minimum. So there is no phase difference which will happen in the circuit of capacitor or inductor, that we will see in the coming lecture. So this is a one question. Now if we find out the average of V and I for one complete cycle. So see, after one complete cycle, this is one complete cycle. So initially at t is equal to 0, the voltage and current was 0, and this is the time capital T. So if you remember, this time is T by 2, that is half time, and this is one complete cycle. So after one complete cycle also the AC voltage or AC current becomes 0. So that is the average of AC voltage and AC current for one complete cycle is 0. We will prove this mathematically also in the next lecture, but for the time being, till the next lecture, you have to remember the AC voltage, the average of AC voltage and AC current for one complete cycle, is 0. Again, you have to remember this. Phase difference is 0, and the average of AC voltage and AC current for one complete cycle comes out to be 0. In other words, we can write the sum of instantaneous current, or you can say voltage, the sum of instantaneous current or voltage for one complete cycle, is 0. For one complete cycle is 0. So if I divide this entire cycle into the small instant, and if I do the sum, that sum turns into the integration, then also the resultant comes out to be, that is the average comes out to be 0. So for one complete cycle the average is 0. Now we will see what is the importance of this. We say that the AC voltage in our home is 220 volt, but here the average comes out to be 0. So what is this 220 volt, which is our household supply? So we will find out this thing by introducing a new term which is called as RMS. So in the coming lecture we will discuss about that. Now this is about the AC voltage, or derive an expression for AC current applied to a, for a AC voltage applied to a resistor. Means you have to derive the formula for I in this question, and then you have to draw the graph and you have to write this main points. In the coming lecture we will derive the formula for the average power. Now for DC source, you know that power is I square R. This is for DC source. Now here we have concluded that the average of AC current for one complete cycle is 0. But if the average of AC current is 0, then the average power should also comes out to be 0. But it will not be the case, because power consumed cannot be 0. We have a I square term there, and I square term is always positive. Here the current is positive as well as negative. It changes the polarity, but there the current is the square. So the average will not come out to be a 0, that we will see. So here average current 0 does not mean that the average power consumed by this circuit, there will be a power consumption. We have a R, so there will be a power loss, or power will be dissipated in the form of Joule heating effect. So in that case, when there was a DC source, we write P is equal to I square R. But we have to discuss about this IR. This equation is for DC source. We will discuss what will be the average power for this circuit, and you will see that it will not be 0, though the average current for entire cycle is 0. So this is the first simple topic. In the coming lectures we will discuss about the power of this circuit and the other AC circuits containing only capacitor or AC circuit containing only inductor. Have a nice day.